Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So we have been watching as the big regulators start to push forward and actually accelerate regulatory clarity for digital assets. Now, this is actually very interesting because, I don't think that it's just because we have a new presidential admin that this is happening. I mean, when we think about all of the big moves that have happened over the last couple months, it's insane. It's night and day versus the last, 4 years. Now, again, could we just say that, it's because of the Trump admin? Or could we also connect this back to, the elites? Because we know that right now the environment around the entire global economy is actually perfect for a possible monetary reset where we do introduce the new technologies. And we really kind of look at the recent presidential executive order, which was modernizing the U.S. Treasury financial system essentially for the U.S. And this did involve digital wallets and digital assets. I mean, it's the perfect time to be looking at what the big elites and the big players are actually telling us. But before we really get into that, I do have to play this video clip and talk about what's been going on over the last couple, weeks. So number one, we have new President Trump's nominee for SEC Chair Paul Atkins claims he will create a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets. Check this out. This is a little bit lower in volume. I will probably edit the volume after this recording.
Since 2017, I've led industry efforts to develop best practices for the digital asset industry. I've seen how ambiguous and non-existent regulation of digital assets create uncertainty in the market and inhibit innovation. A top priority of my chairmanship will be to work with my fellow commissioners in Congress to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through a rational, coherent, and principled approach. So this is a pivotal moment for our economy. Entrepreneurs, businesses, and individuals here at home and across the globe are eager to invest in America now that President Trump is at the helm. Yet the current regulatory environment for our financial system inhibits investment and often punishes success. Unclear, overly politicized, complicated, and burdensome regulations are stifling capital formation, while American investors are flooded with disclosures that do the opposite of helping them understand the true risks of an investment. It is time to reset priorities and return common sense to the SEC. I'm eager to get to work for American markets and investors. Should I be confirmed, my goal will be to ensure that the United States is the best and most secure place in the world to do business.
So yeah, I mean, listen, as we really think about what's happening here, regulatory clarity and regulations around this space is at the top of the list in terms of priority number one, because we have started to see that accelerated shift to actually getting this space completely regulated. Now, it's also coming at a time where we are looking at the economy and the financial system as we know it, and we're thinking it's the perfect time for a monetary reset. Things are starting to break. Things are starting to look unsustainable, and they've been looking unsustainable for a while now. But on top of this, we did recently see the FDIC allow banks to engage in crypto. This is after the OCC cleared it as well. And also, stablecoin legislation is starting to heat up in a big way. Now, you might be wondering, well, Nick, why are you bringing this stuff back up? Well, it's because of the overall point here. Regulations are heating up in a huge way, and I do believe that this is also being accelerated by individuals that we don't really know their names. We know the organization names. We know that there is elites out there that do control most of this space and even things outside of the space. We look at players like BlackRock, for an example. That, recently, if we go back to January, Larry Fink was at the Davos event, and he even said that he's urging the SEC to get, pushing on for tokenization efforts. So basically, he's making sure that the SEC is working on advancing, acceptance of these big players to actually tokenize far more than what has been tokenized so far. But again, these are the players, these are the big names that get things accelerated. These are the elite players. Now, when we think about the elites, we have to think about Ripple because, again, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larsen, two big players behind Ripple, are on the World Economic Forum's website. And this is actually under number one authors, but also key figures around the world. And you know what's even crazier about this? Is Ripple is actually a spotlighted partner on the World Economic Forum website. And the one article here is why we need a common standard for moving e-money. This goes all the way back to 2015, by the way. Pretty wild. But it's not just the World Economic Forum. We also look at the BIS. Now you might say, all right, well, Nick, the BIS is not an elite organization. Isn't it though? This is the central bank of central banks. One of the largest organizations out there around our financial system. And back in July of 2024, they released a complete breakdown of the CPMI group where, yeah, Ripple is one of the big players behind this, with all of these big organizations out there, big networks like Swift, for an example, big central banks. Just remember that the membership of the CPMI includes 28 central banks. And here they all are. But on top of that, the CPMI group is an organization that's an international standard setter that promotes, monitors, and makes recommendations about the safety and efficiency of payment, clearing, settlement, and related arrangements, thereby supporting financial stability and the wider economy. It serves as a forum for central bank cooperation in related oversight policy and operational matters, including the provision of central bank services, and Ripple is a member of this group. But it doesn't just stop there, right? The reason why I'm bringing up all these connections back to Ripple is because of this post here from Smoke Dog. The Rothschilds are sounding the alarm on blockchain. The Rothschild family has made a rare and significant statement. Blockchain adoption is accelerating faster than expected. When one of the most influential financial dynasties acknowledges a shift of this scale, it is worth paying attention. Their language is clear. Terms like accelerating and large-scale adoption reflects a major transformation in global finance. More than half of Fortune 100 companies are actively implementing blockchain strategies, signaling that adoption is well underway. Stablecoins have already processed an astonishing $33 trillion in transactions, surpassing Visa's 2024 volume by more than 2.5 times and laying the foundation for large-scale asset tokenization. Global securities markets are integrating blockchain infrastructure, with tokenized government bonds and institutional-grade digital assets gaining traction. The scale of adoption behind the scenes is moving rapidly. While markets remain distracted by short-term fluctuations, blockchain adoption is accelerating behind the scenes at a speed few are prepared for. The shift is happening in real time, but its full impact has yet to be priced in. By the time the broader market catches on, the transformation will already be well underway, leaving many caught off guard. Short-term investors reacting emotionally to the current correction may be locking in losses, but long-term investors are receiving the ultimate confirmation. This latest Rothschild document is a powerful reminder of blockchain's accelerating institutional adoption, reinforcing that digital assets are here to stay. With regulatory clarity improving across Europe, Hong Kong, the UAE, and the United States, the foundation is being laid for sustained market growth. For those with a long-term perspective, this provides even greater peace of mind that blockchain is a worthwhile investment. And here we actually have that document where we have blockchain large-scale adoption accelerated by supportive regulatory momentum. And this is from the Rothschild & Co. asset management company. And we have over 50% of Fortune 100 companies are executing a strategy based on blockchain technology. The large-scale adoption of this technology is underway and accelerating. Again, when we think about regulatory clarity, that's going to be the big driver around large-scale adoption. We already heard this from many players, including, of course, even David Schwartz. And also here we have another piece of this, which is of course Ripple being highlighted with the Rockefellers. We have the project is managed by the Mohawk Loop Foundation, which, yeah, we have the Mohawk Loop Foundation's website open over here. Back in September, actually, of 2020, we saw Ripple and the Mohawk Loop Foundation come together to create a more financially inclusive future. And around the same exact time, May 28th, 2020, the Rockefeller Foundation and the Mohawk Loop Foundation fulfilling Mohawk Loop's potential to advance financial inclusion on a massive scale. And even today, we know that one of the members of the Mohawk Loop Foundation is the Gates Foundation, of course. But if we go back over here, we do have, which was launched in early 2020, its members include central banks, financial services, and technology companies such as Google, Coil, and Ripple, and philanthropies such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. The Mohawk Loop Foundation and its community also advances financial inclusion by shaping international standards and innovations, for example, through a research partnership with the Monetary Authority of Singapore on central bank digital currencies. At the end of the day, we could sit here and get bearish about the connections back to Ripple with these big elites. But one thing is very clear to me, okay? What's going to happen around our financial system over the next couple weeks, months, and even years going forward is going to shock so many people. But we have been studying this. We have been following the breadcrumbs and also connecting the dots. This is something I think everyone should be doing at this current moment in time, especially at a time where, yes, the regulatory side of things are being accelerated. This is being accelerated by those big players, those elites that we study, that we continue to watch, because they are moving in silence while everyone is completely avoiding this. We talk about BlackRock, we talk about Wall Street and what Wall Street is doing and BlackRock is doing. They're tokenizing. They're tokenizing right now in small amounts, but they have already told us what they're doing. They showed us their hand. All we have to do is follow the money. And we know that Ripple is a part of all of this. We know that Ripple has a hand to play in almost everything. When we look at the IMF, we look at the World Bank, we look at all of these global organizations, and one name continues to come up. And that is Ripple. This is not a coincidence. This is something that I keep telling you guys. You need to understand that Ripple is far more embedded within the global system than we are aware of. We are not getting told the entire story. We are given breadcrumbs that we must follow, and we have to put together the puzzle as well with all the pieces that we have. And then we could actually see the real picture. And the picture right now is the fact that, one, regulations are accelerating around crypto, which will lead to mass institutional grade adoption, which will eventually lead to mass retail adoption as well. But this is going to be accelerated by players like Ripple that have been utilizing blockchain and DLT for well over a decade, connecting to some of the largest institutional players out there. Because we know that the institutional grade adoption is the key to all of this. And Ripple having hundreds of big banks and institutions tied to it should give you everything you need to know about how big Ripple will be and how we get to that end goal of, number one, XRP being extremely valuable, and also Ripple being extremely successful as well. And it's already happening. I mean, when we really think about what's been going on over the last couple, weeks and even the last couple months, a lot of this is putting Ripple at the forefront of, adoption. Because even the banks being enabled, you got to understand that a lot of those banks already have had long-term relationships with Ripple anyways to utilize their technology stack, which also utilizes XRP and the XRPL. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.